All right, and welcome to Fastbreak Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, and I'm here once again with my buddy through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Dave DeFore as I stumble over my words. Classic Keith. Dave, how are you doing?
Great.
Not good bad. To hear it.
Yeah, life is good.
Yeah, we have a day off from the NBA playoffs today. We're recording on Thursday, May 14th. How many consumers out there are going to open up their YouTube TV tonight and be like, I guess it's on Peacock. And then and then be like, no, wait, it's on Prime. And then look around on Prime and be like, I can't find it. Oh, well. Now there's no games tonight. So yeah. Everybody finds something else to do. Can I give
more people are watching these playoffs than ever, Keith? Didn't you see the social media graphic?
I know more people are watching than ever. I know this to be a fact that those numbers are manipulated. I don't know how exactly.
They're fake. Yeah.
I know they're across more streaming platforms than they've ever been.
Right.
The idea that is reaching more people, I don't believe personally, but maybe it is. That this year's playoffs, with the riveting storylines of, to the casual fan, what? I don't know what the casual fan's excited about in this year's playoffs.
Wemby only.
Yeah, and I'm dubious that 20% more people are watching the playoffs this year. Get out of town. That would be a stunning. If any sport was we got 20% more people watching this year, and they don't have Caitlin Clark, I don't believe them.
Right.
Yeah. I believe the WNBA had a massive surge of interest. There is no massive surge of interest in the NBA. So I think what's happening, my personal theory. So I get home from work at 6. I have maybe the game Prime on my phone or wherever. And then I turn it off, and then I go to my Roku,
two viewers
on my first level, and I hit play. They're like, bang, we got 2 viewers for this game. And then I pause it, and then my Roku shuts down after 10 minutes, and then I come back and turn it back on. Bang, 3 viewers for this game. And then all right, it's dinner time. I'm playing outside with the kids. All right, put the kids to bed. I'm going to go upstairs, watch the rest of this game. I've got side-by-side TVs. Boom, another Roku. Boom, another Roku. I think they're we have 8 views from this guy right now. And the second half just started.
It's like old podcast numbers.
Oh, it's podcast numbers when if anybody is bragging about their impressions or something.
Yeah.
He received 10 million impressions in the last month. It's
across all platforms.
Yeah, across all platforms. Get out of town. Yeah. You got to.
It was one guy 10 million times, though.
You have people now. We have NBA teams that broadcast their team podcasts and stuff across Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and they're we got 80,000 downloads. That's terrible. Or whatever it is. If you're combining, it's not real. Anyways, advertisers, please don't look deeply into our numbers. We have many.
No. Keep
hundreds
giving
of
money
thousands
away.
Of impressions. Anyways, there's a little look at how the numbers are fudged across all media. Dave, it's a weird week in the sense that we're dealing with tragedy across the NBA. Yeah. Of course, this show is very lighthearted and about the silly stuff in the NBA. But Brandon Clark died this week. Also, Jason Collins passed away. The Brandon Clark news, of course, shocking, unexpected. I mean, an active NBA player dying is extremely rare.
Yeah.
And someone who had been in the league for 7 years and was beloved by everyone who talks about him. It's just a really upsetting thing. Unless there's something else you want to say about it, I released a remembrance thing for Grits and Grinds, just talking about Brandon Clark's career on the Grizzlies. So
yeah,
I will say the moment of silence that was at the Timberwolves Spurs game, being punctuated with the DraftKings ad, particularly disgusting. Particularly what is wrong with our whole world?
No one cares.
Yeah. Real upsetting.
As long as that check clears, man.
Yeah. Real upsetting week for me and for, I know, people who work with the Grizzlies and that fan base and then the whole NBA brotherhood. Like, I feel for like Kyle Anderson, former teammate playing for the Timberwolves. And of course, like the way the NBA is, if you're in the league for 7 years, like you've played with hundreds of players,
Right.
not just on the Grizzlies where they cycle through a bunch of 10-day guys. So yeah, it's very upsetting. And so my condolences to all those people affected, condolences to Jason Collins and his family and all former teammates and players. So I did want to acknowledge all of that before turning it over to the ridiculousness of our show, of talking about the playoff series, talking about the lottery, Dave, which I do want to go over.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting time for me as a Grizzlies fan. Also, maybe we can even start here. Pre-breakfast. This is very exciting. The NBA Players Association released a referee ranking.
Yes.
Dave,
It's amazing.
how good is this? So apparently they didn't rank them like 1 to 100, which would have been incredible. But they did. They just put them in pools or tiers.
Tears.
They had them rank, and then we got access to this list of referees. They split them into 3 tiers.
Mm-hmm.
This is extremely my thing. You, Dave, frequently hold the position that we should not know the referees' names. They should be invisible and just blend in, and whenever they stick out, it's bad. I mean, referees are in the forefront. Game 5, Cavaliers Pistons, there's a blown foul call in the final few seconds of regulation. Jared Allen, I think the last 2-minute report is going to say fouled him twice on this loose ball. Now, of course, there is the common line of thinking that, like, let the players decide the game. Although I do find that the people most vociferous about that are the ones who are the angriest about a missed call. So it's like, you can't, no, like the players don't decide the game. The game decides the game. If there's a foul, you're going to call it. But I do get it. All right, loose ball. We maybe don't call that one. But anyways, going back to the referee rankings. You asked me last week, Dave, after Lakers Thunder, where the Lakers were outraged. RIP Lakers, by the way. You asked me if I could defend the referees. I said, not this time, Dave. I'm not a John Goble fan. Turns out neither are the players.
Yeah.
So the players ranked these guys in 3 tiers, and they requested that they submitted this to the NBA, to the league office in March, and said, we got 3 tiers here. Elite, doing okay, and then like needs improvement. And they said, we only want tiers 1 and 2 to work the postseason, and we only want tier 1 referees to be eligible for the finals. The NBA took that feedback and said, whatever, I don't care. Because John Goble was in tier 3. They explicitly requested that John Goble not be given playoff games, and they did. I love this. Also, I think most notably, Scott Foster in tier 2, meaning the Players Association, the Players Union, explicitly requested Scott Foster to not be one of the referees chosen for the finals, whether or not they heed that request.
Well, definitely not. Come on. I think that it would be great if the players' feedback was taken into account. But I also understand if you're the NBA being like, okay, but this is no, I think we have a process here that we have to go through for who's going to ref. But John Goble should not be reffing.
I understand, and I've always given the referees the benefit of the doubt, maybe more times when I should. When Monty McCutcheon is like, we have a scoring process, and we grade out all their calls throughout the games, and so whoever are the highest rated referees as far as the accuracy of their calls, and then also taking into account team feedback, because they do. After every game, teams can submit feedback. And this actually, I think, is consistent. I know it's the case in college and in high school basketball. Like you rank your referees and you make specific requests to whatever association you're in, whatever conference or league you're in. You put in your requests and you say, we'd prefer not to have. And I know going back to my high school days, you got like jury selection. There was a thing. There was a thing where but there was a thing where you could say, listen, not this person. You couldn't like scratch out all of them, but you were allowed to be like, just like, I can't remember what it was, like a couple, just be like, no. And so it's funny to me that if the player, like the players themselves saying, okay, we understand that you guys think Scott Foster is one of your best referees. We've given you, I mean, how many names is this? It's like, we've given you 30 other names.
Right.
And the league's like, no. That still feels weird a little bit.
I wish I could have done that. I got thrown out of a high school game at a little border town in Arizona.
Yeah.
The sheriff was the referee, and he called an over-the-back foul from half court.
Yeah.
And fouled out my best player. And I got 3 technicals.
Yeah.
Which I did not know was possible, but I came back for one more.
There you go.
But he was the sheriff of the town.
All I didn't know, was it a foul or not?
It was not a foul. And there was no way for him to know whether it was a foul or not from where he was standing.
Yeah.
My guy just had hops.
Yeah, that's tough.
Cleared that kid like it was nothing.
That's tough. You went JB Bickerstaff on
He
him.
should not be reffing the finals. The sheriff of Nogales. Okay, I'm just saying that right
there
now.
is listen, there is a referee shortage in every sport.
Every sport. It's
globally,
a crisis.
And you're going to get a little overlap between local law enforcement and then refereeing, pick up a few extra dollars.
They got to get their opinion in there,
I've been thinking
sure.
about if going back to last week's episode, if my 11-year-old is not allowed to use the string trimmer, aka the weed whacker, maybe I should teach him to be a soccer ref, basketball ref. 11's not too young. Let's go.
You know what, Keith? I refereed for the first time when I was like 11 or 12.
Yep.
I was doing youth basketball. It's also one of the first times I got into coaching.
Yeah.
As a kid, because it was, all hands on deck. That's a great idea. Hey, you should get your kid to do it. Also, again, it can be a good job if you want to work in sports.
Yeah.
Be a referee and be good at it, and you will advance fast because, like you just said, Keith, at the end of the year, if you wanted to work yourself up from high school, it's not hard to get into high school reffing. And if you want to work your way up, be a good high school ref, people will find out and you can move up. Yeah, absolutely. You should do that.
I mean, I would get my son into refereeing, except for the fact that human beings are horrible. And subjecting, listen, start on a little kid soccer league where everyone's nice. It's great. Right. Then you work your way up. You're like, wow, everyone is really horrible.
Have him do refereeing and also MMA, though, right? Just.
What if I give him the weed whacker to bring with him, too?
Yeah, there we go.
Speaking of weed whackers, Dave, let's jump to my breakfast in bed apology. This is my chance to make right what I might have gotten wrong on a previous episode. Frequently, the first time we talk about the NBA, it can be sort of on this episode, but this apology is not NBA-based. Talking about lawn care last week, where I got some great feedback from power listener Sabrina Merchant. Mm-hmm. She said, the show is never better when we're just talking about home ownership and lawn care. So I'm not going to take that as in, I wish you talked about basketball less. I'm just going to take it as a compliment. Thank you, Sabrina.
Wish you talked about lawn care more.
I wish you talked about things that weren't the NBA more on your NBA podcast. No, I referred to a push mower, a mechanical blade mower, as a non-mechanical mower.
Right.
I meant obviously non-motorized.
Yeah.
It is obviously it's mechanical.
Mechanical.
It's a machine,
but
obviously not electric or powered by gasoline. I'm sorry. Everyone has to hear me misspeak about the basketball all the time. I feel bad it carried over into the lawn care segment.
My high school football coach, who we ran a double wing offense in the 90s, just to put out there how old school this guy is.
Yeah.
We ran an offense from the 20s.
I love it.
Yep. He used to mow the football field with one of those mechanical push
Oh, wow.
mowers. He was insane. And like he would get off from work all day. You know, he was like a mechanic or something. And then he would come and he would push mower the yard. And all I could think about was, man, that guy really does not want to be at home.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things there. You make a perfect conclusion. That guy is trying to avoid home life. Also,
he's coaching high school kids.
But also
football.
the split there is you admire the commitment. Not like every high school coach is underpaid, but then someone who also has a situation where like they have to take care of the fields too.
Yeah.
Man, that's love of the game.
High school coaching, man, like unless you're at one of these like prep schools, that's all it's about. Shout out to Wasatch Academy. That's the sweet spot for high school coaching.
Let's get into some of these playoff series. Let's first of all acknowledge the series that have ended. I'd like to begin with the series I watched the least of. The last week, I ended up having a lot of things to do, and I had been at one point. I think I'd watched every playoff game. I'd been really enamored, you know, like obviously going back and watching them, you know, DVR'd or the replay. Although here's my prime video complaint. There's no way to access the replay without seeing the score. So you can't, like, if you didn't watch the game, like I've been getting off social media and like, I don't know who won a certain game. But if I go back and turn it on, it's like, well, there's a score. There's no way to find the replay of the game with spoiler free.
When stuff is made by people who aren't sports fans.
Anyways, Knicks 76ers. The Knicks crushed the 76ers. I didn't watch hardly any of games 3 and 4 because I was doing other things, saw the scores, and I'm like, I'm not going back and watching that. like, what's the point? The Knicks have run off the best point differential over a 10 playoff game span ever.
Yeah.
And they have the biggest point differential over any 10-game playoff span by a lot. Over 20 points better than the 2017 Warriors. They turned around that Hawks series and then just ran the Sixers out of town. Dave, what did I miss in Knicks 76ers?
I don't know, man. Not much. The Knicks offense, it's all what you saw at the end of the Hawks series. Karl Anthony Towns playmaking essentially away from the basket. Jalen Brunson not having to dribble the leather off the ball. You know, ball has energy, that sort of thing. Like Mike D'Antoni, the ball's moving a little bit more. Like Mikal Bridges is scoring. OG Anunoby was awesome until he got hurt, but they won those last 2 games without him. They're rolling. And by the same token, like the Sixers were gassed. They didn't have any juice. I mean, Joel Embiid looked like a shell of himself compared to the way he looked the last 3 games of that Celtics series. Yeah.
Paul George maybe needed another 25-game break. It seemed like by the end of the series.
I don't think they're not testing in the playoffs. Just go back on. You know,
the Knicks finding their stride and blowing everybody out, and now have some time off. And the question is just going to go back to OG Anunoby's health. Mm-hmm. 1 week ago, I was saying just don't play him for as long as you can.
Right.
And it turns out I think the injury was more severe than they were pretending.
Sure.
And now it's going to be a question mark of what's he like in the conference finals? Do they need him in the conference finals? I am not convinced they do.
Me either.
Cavaliers and Pistons are not overwhelming me with their impressive play. The Sixers getting swept cost Daryl Morey his job. He got fired. I also think a big part
was it the Sixers, or was it that the Thunder have swept their way to the conference finals and Jared McCain has outscored the Sixers bench pretty much in every single game?
I think when you look at the Thunder and you see how they're shortening their rotation and you see how Aaron Wiggins doesn't play and Cason Wallace sometimes doesn't have to go in the fourth quarter in close games, and Jalen Williams is hurt. Like, so they're even missing one of their main wing guys. They're shortening their rotation. Sometimes Isaiah Joe gets run. All that to say, and you got Jared McCain out there knocking down clutch buckets, making huge fourth quarter playoff threes. Yeah, that did not help Daryl Morey keep his job. Seeing the Thunder turning to Jared McCain in the postseason.
He's a perfect addition to what they needed too, because they didn't really have a movement shooter like that. They didn't have a guy who would just run around off screen. Have you watched Jared McCain when he's off the ball?
Yeah.
That guy does not stop.
They are the Thunder. They are so impressive. AJ Mitchell was outrageous. Just
they got too many guys.
They got too many guys. And part of it is the orbit of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Sure.
And because all of the other players on the Thunder get to play advantage a lot of the time, because the Lakers were very aggressively double teaming Shea for a lot of that series, and Mark Daigneault spoke really eloquently on it, where don't get carried away with the counting stats. When like Shea didn't hit his 20 points per game, it's like he cited the really high offensive rebounding totals they had in the first two games. It's because the Lakers were in scramble the whole time trying to stop Shea. But then Shea, when it mattered, of course, game 4, put that game to bed. Game 4 of Lakers Thunder, this is when I went back and watched like the whole second half, was incredible. I mean, I give a lot of credit to the Lakers, to the most accurate playoff career three-point shooter of all time, Rui Hachimura, for continuing to knock down shots.
He wasn't in the game
that was a headline. Okay, they're down by 3. They pull off the greatest playoff three-point shooter of all time, statistically. But I have no issue. They ran a play.
They got a great shot.
They put Kleber out there to set the screen. He set the screen for Austin Reeves. There was no other time for anything else.
And also, OKC was going to foul up 3. So it had to be that quick shot.
Yeah, like I get it. It was, you could say, you could pull that out and say, why is your best, I mean, again, we're saying best, but why is still one of your better three-point shooters out there? It doesn't matter. You ran the play to get the open Austin Reeves 3, and it worked. Like everything worked. I do give the Lakers a lot of credit for how exciting that game was, how hard they played. Jackson Hayes just having an unreal end of the game. His dunk in the third quarter, I am impartial to, I don't like either team generally cheering like for either one.
Yeah.
I almost stood up watching it at home when he like had that dunk in the third quarter that gave the Lakers the lead. It was electric. It was thrilling. Now the Lakers season comes to an end. I don't know if that was it for LeBron on the Lakers. If you're the Lakers, I don't know why you wouldn't just bring him back in some way. I know I
don't know if he wants to come back.
Yeah,
I mean, we got the stories as soon as the season was over. He felt disrespected. JJ Redick got a game ball one time when maybe LeBron should have.
Is LeBron getting upset about game balls?
Honestly, I don't know. What I read over at ESPN, I think it was Dave McMenamin.
Yeah.
Was that he felt disrespected.
Interesting. I haven't caught up in this article. Did they give game balls out in Michael Jordan's day? Can you imagine if they handed a game ball to like Horace Grant and Michael Jordan would just go over and say, "Give me that ball!" Like just took the ball from him.
I feel like Michael Jordan probably would have been the one handing the balls out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think like watching these playoffs, if LeBron goes somewhere else, and we've been trying to think of like where he should go, it does feel like every single team in the East could use him. Yeah. I was like, man, if he could just go to the Pistons and be a useful player. I mean, LeBron was great in the playoffs.
He was excellent.
And I mean, I know he might have missed a possible tying go-ahead shot at the end, but still, he was great. He was great the whole playoffs. Like the Cavaliers, of course, there was that connection before. Watching the Cavaliers play, I'm like, I don't trust any of your players.
Yeah, they had LeBron.
They had LeBron out there. If you gave Dean Wade's minutes to LeBron, like if the Pistons gave, I don't know, Dennis Jenkins minutes, anybody.
How about Jalen Duren's minutes?
All right. Dave, let's take a break, and then we'll come back. Let's talk about Jalen Duren. We'll talk about the rest of the active playoff series, and we got to go over the lottery. Okay, Dave, we already talked a little bit about the end of Game 5 between the Cavaliers and the Pistons. The missed call at the end of regulation. The Pistons went very cold at the end of regulation and the start of overtime. The Cavaliers come away with a huge victory. They've now won 3 straight games. I'm not going to call this win an impressive win. I felt like I was watching, I don't know, the 9-10 play-in on NBA TV or something. It was
That's
ugly.
exactly what it feels like.
It felt like James Harden got away with way too many James Harden things, where it's like, why? Like the Cavaliers weren't even making shots. It was kind of ugly. I was so confused. Like, the Pistons are the 1 seed. I'm just going to take this out of context. The Pistons were the 1 seed and were closing a Game 5 in the second round of a 2-2 series with Dennis Jenkins and Paul Reed and Karis LeVert. All due respect to everyone I just mentioned, those guys aren't that good.
Right.
Those are not NBA starters. And so I was like, what's going on? And I realized Jalen Duren getting benched for Paul Reed, huge story. I get a little sick thinking about the amount of money Jalen Duren has cost himself this postseason. I mentioned Horace Grant just a second ago, Dave. Higher points per game in the playoffs career.
Well,
Jalen Duren or Horace Grant?
I would guess Horace Grant.
Horace Grant by a little bit. All right, Jalen Duren has played 18 playoff games so far in his career. All right. Higher playoff points per game. Jalen Duren or Draymond Green?
Oh, Duren.
That's wrong. Draymond Green.
Really?
Draymond Green averages more points per game in the playoffs than Jalen Duren. Higher points per game in the postseason. Jalen Duren or DJ Ronnie Cycli?
All right, Ronnie Cycli.
Yeah, DJ Ronnie Cycli.
Okay.
Higher points per game in the postseason. Jalen Duren or Brandon Bass?
Don't do this. No way. Brandon Bass?
Nah, Jalen Duren had a little bit. Here's where my basketball reference search started. So Jalen Duren in this playoffs right now is averaging 10 points and 8 rebounds per game. And I was like, those are Brandon Bass numbers. And so then I went and looked up what Brandon Bass's playoff numbers were. The rebounds a little high, but like he was right about, he had a couple playoff series where he averaged like 10 and 6 and 11 and 6.
Yeah.
Career Brandon Bass, 8.4 points per game in the playoffs. Jalen Duren, right now career, is at 10.7 points per game. All right, higher points per game career playoffs, Dave. Jalen Duren or Charles Oakley?
Oh, come on, Oak.
Oak by just 1/10, though. Yeah, just 1/10.
It's funny because Horace Grant, Brandon Bass, and Charles Oakley, very similar archetype player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A not offensively gifted, extremely limited physical guy.
It's a screen setter who rebounds and has an elbow jumper. Which
higher playoff points per game, Jalen Duren or big smooth Sam Perkins?
Sam. Going with Sam.
Oh, wait, I lost it. It's close. It's close. I think it's Sam by a little bit.
Early big man shooter. He has a jump shot form that was like a trebuchet.
Essentially the same. They're within a 10th of a point. Final one. Higher playoffs points per game. Jalen Duren or Christian Laettner?
Got to be Duren.
Nope, Christian Laettner averaged more points per game in the playoffs than Jalen Duren. This is a guy possibly making an All-NBA team. He averaged 20 points per game, 19.5 points per game in the regular season. Would Daryl Morey still be employed if they just played B-Ball Paul on the Sixers?
Probably.
I mean, B-Ball Paul is kind of. I mean,
God, he's good.
So cool.
He just works hard, man. I'm not. If he starts in Game 6, would you be shocked?
Yeah, you can't beat Duren.
I just don't know. I think you got to have at least a quick hook. You got to win.
This is one of those, like, when you're bringing your hurt guy back in.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get Jalen Duren going. I think you got to get him his confidence back where he can actually finish with touch, because he was like his whole
good
thing
in the season.
His whole thing in his career has been like almost Dwight Howard style body, finishing, physical specimen, imposing physical presence, who actually can score a little bit. Like he has good looking short jumper. Like he can actually it's not a total limitation.
The reason that he became a borderline all NBA guy is because he can play defense now.
Yeah.
His offensive game has been good. It's honestly, it's like watching someone who has a yips.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it feels like he's just totally lost his confidence, and I don't know.
He's got a basketball game to win.
This series, I guess we should maybe acknowledge a little bit more of the way it's gone. Game 3, the Pistons, like they could have delivered the knockout blow then. Like it was a very close, unimpressive squeak out win by the Cavaliers. Then in Game 4, you get this massive Donovan Mitchell second half. He ties Sleepy Floyd's record for the most points in a playoff half with 39. And it took all of that to overcome the Pistons. And now we're just pointing out how going into Game 5, though the Cavaliers haven't won a road game, but they've won all their home games. And still it took a Max Strus game. Finally got a Max Strus game. And it took all the dark arts of James Harden manipulating the referees to, again, beat the Dennis Jenkins, Karis LeVert, Paul Reed Pistons. I mean, Cade had another huge scoring game. Cade is delivering.
But some bad turnovers.
Yeah.
Bad turnovers.
Also,
Cade, his turnovers sometimes are just, they're catastrophic when they happen because they just tend to happen in these high leverage moments.
And I hate to say it, Dave, Games 3 and 4 was the end of the run for Tobias Harris. Tobias finally showed a little mortality, not having some good offensive games, missing a lot of shots he's been making throughout the playoffs. Yeah. And now, I mean, Pistons, like, on the ropes, going to have to go on the road.
Win in Cleveland.
But also, like, do we trust? I don't trust either one of these teams. I mean, I know the Stone Cold locks. I took Cavs in 6 locks, so I'm cheering, I guess, for my own picks, but I don't have any faith or belief. Can they both lose Game 6? No, I guess not.
Well, I mean, I would say Game 5 was almost that, right?
It really was an unimpressive, like, that's not a basketball game you'd show to someone you were trying to even though it went to overtime and was close, it wasn't even really thrilling. It was just like, ugh.
Whoa, they blew a 9-point lead with 2.5 minutes left. The Pistons did.
Yeah.
And the way that it happened, so much of it, like you mentioned the dark arts, so much of it feels like it happened at the free throw line.
Right. It wasn't until Donovan Mitchell made that 3-pointer in overtime where I'm like, oh, finally, someone actually made a shot.
Right.
But then, even then, they almost gave it up in the overtime. James Harden, who made all his free throws up until clutch time, is like missing every other one. Yeah, I don't know. Ugly game, not the most impressive series. And it also feels like one of these teams is going to be able to say they were conference finalists, which is like, it goes a long way. And I mean, making the Final Four is huge. So congrats. But I don't think anyone's thinking they're going to push the Knicks in that conference finals. The other series that's still going on, very, very exciting. Timberwolves Spurs. Wemby threw an elbow and got ejected. And it was a violent elbow that was thrown. I kind of think if that hadn't happened, the Spurs would be marching on.
Oh yeah,
I'm taking the blowouts in games 3 and 5 when it was just like, oh my goodness, or was it 2 and 5? Well, there's two Spurs,
two and five.
two massive blowouts where you're just like, goodness, and it took Ant going full whatever, let's call it, just going full Ant-Man. Like
Yeah,
Michael Jordan with the 3-pointer. He was incredible. That game 4 is a game I would show to someone to convince the NBA is cool to watch because it was just unreal play.
had so much stuff happening.
So much exciting, like individual, like heroism from Anthony
including
Edwards.
the drama of Wemby getting ejected.
Right.
Like it was in the meat of the game, and it was so obviously like the right call.
Yeah.
And right, it actually did like you could feel the arena like feel like it was gonna pop.
Yeah. So now, I mean, I'm not writing this series off, despite the fact that I think the Spurs have been so much better. Dylan Harper, game after game, week after week, just keeps impressing, keeps getting better and better. I know there was a time in the season where I preferred my own guy, rookie Cedric Coward.
Yeah.
Because Cedric Coward was great this year when he played in the meaningful games. And
Sure.
Dylan Harper was playing fewer minutes, was struggling to make jumpers. And it's like, I was like, I'll take like a redraft. I'll take Cedric Coward because the positional scarcity of a wing with size that rebounds well, that can score. Like, I probably might take him over Dylan Harper. But Dylan has just, for me at least, maybe I was ignorant of him earlier on.
Yeah.
Month after month, it's like, oh man, this guy's amazing. And seeing him in the postseason, just driving coast to coast through traffic, dunking on people, consistently getting to the rim and finishing in the half court. Like, he's been awesome.
He honestly, he plays like a guy who has an older brother that's in the NBA. Right? You can tell, like, he has no problem going up against guys who are bigger than him.
Yeah.
Like he probably got bullied by his brother, I'm assuming. But if that shot ever comes around, that dude is legit. I mean, I think he's going to be an all NBA guy.
Yeah,
he's really, the second best player right now.
He really could be. I mean, Stephen Castle's also been really good this series.
He's been great.
De'Aaron Fox, it comes and goes based on what we expect or what the Spurs are going to need from him to win the title. But like that team is deep and they're good and they're getting everything they need. And the Timberwolves, you just credit. I mean, obviously they're very talented, but also so much of it is just like they are the wise, older, beat up team. It's like barely hanging on against, I think, a more talented foe. They've obviously been there before. And I mean, they can certainly win Game 6. They can still win the series. They can make 3 straight conference finals. It's been that one has been the riveting watch every time, even when you have the huge blowouts sprinkled in, because it's like, oh well, Wembanyama's just winning this game. Sorry, everybody. So that one has been a lot of fun to watch. Let's switch over to the lottery because it was really fun.
Grizzlies.
Hey, the Grizzlies jumped up. We tanked on purpose and we won. Wait, yay us. The biggest story from the lottery, besides tanking being rewarded, with the Wizards jumping to 1, the Wizards are a very fun team to think about for next year. Like, does winning the lottery, Dave, do you think winning the lottery, does it change Anthony Davis's motivation? Like, will now like Trae Young and Anthony Davis be like, yes, we would like to be here and actually play?
I don't know if it's going to make AD want to play there next year. I mean, I would guess that he starts the season there.
Yeah.
He's got to rehabilitate his value.
You would think.
Right. If you're the Wizards, you want, hey, come play with us. We'll feature you. You know, you're going to help this rookie out and make everyone's life easier because Anthony Davis, when he plays, is still good. I imagine they'd be able to baby him to the trade deadline and get something for him. But I don't know, man. Like after what we've seen out of Anthony Davis since he got traded to Dallas, if you're another team, this guy's due a contract extension, due, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like what are you giving up for this guy? Like what contender is giving something up for Anthony Davis to maybe play 15 games?
That's the thing where I feel like you have to have a real heart to heart with Anthony Davis to be like, if you don't want to be here, you have to prove you're worth $60 million a season. Like, do you know how hard it is, Mr. Davis, for a team to match your salary in a trade? Like, you have to prove you're good. But also, why wouldn't he just want to be there? They could build a very fun basketball team if they get Debansa or Darren Peterson, and it's like with Trae Young and with Keyshawn George
AD and Sarr together is actually very interesting.
It's good, man. Like they could have a very fun basketball team. I hope that's what they get. The Jazz jumped up to 2. Same situation. They're going to be happy with either one of Peterson or Debansa. Maybe they go somewhere else. Of course, a lot of thought.
I think they'll take Debansa if he's.
I mean, a lot of thought they might try to trade and get Debansa because of the BYU and the Ryan Smith connection. Huge win for the Grizzlies in the last year that you could really tank to get a top pick to actually have it work out for them. They're going to get an elite guy to go in their front court. But the biggest story outside of those tanking teams, I mean, good job Bulls jumping up. The only team with any karma that jumped up, I think. I guess you balance the karma of a horrible front office versus at least they tried to play actual basketball. No, but the big story is the Pacers losing their pick.
Yeah. Also, Clippers. All of a sudden got a nice reboot.
Great reboot. That was an unbelievable trade for them. We said, I went back and listened to our episode after the trade deadline. The words we used, the 2 adjectives we used for the Pacers trade, reckless and wild. I was like, that's just wild. And then I'm like, that's just
gamble.
How could you gamble? How can you take a 50% risk of your lost season being lost?
Nothing.
And I know you did get Zubac, but saying like we punch it a year for Zubac, that's kind of gross.
Pretty bad.
I do give the Pacers credit. They traded the exact same pick for Pascal Siakam and Ivica Zubac. That's awesome when you remove the latter context.
Yeah.
We gambled with the 5th or 6th pick to go get Zubac. I still don't understand why they couldn't have tried to get Zubac this offseason with an aggressive trade offer, because no one, not even the Pelicans, I don't think, would have traded the 5th pick and a future first and the restricted free agency rights of Benedict Mathurin for Zubac. No one. So pretty huge mistake there. Shamit Dua, who covers the Pelicans, reminding everyone that the Pelicans traded the 5th and 8th picks in this year's draft for last year's 13th pick, which was Derek Queen. So,
also, as much as I like Derek Queen, I was thinking about him the other day because I was, watching the playoffs, right? Derek Queen ain't playing in these playoffs. I'm a bit nervous about how that's going to work out. He might be a really nice regular season player, though.
Yeah. The Nets fall to 6th. This personally is my favorite thing about the lottery. I wish every tanker got punished, even if it hurt myself with the Grizzlies. Yeah. But I love the fact that they traded multiple pick swaps to get their own picks back. They gave away 2 years of their lives. They spent 2 years of their fans' lives, of Jordy Fernandez's career. They invested 2 years and first-round picks to not get a top 5 pick in either draft. They
just lighting money on fire, Keith.
Just they said, listen, we don't need to provide a product for our fans for 2 seasons because we're going to tank. And they get the 6th pick and Yegor or Yeoman. And it's like,
would LeBron sign there if they offered him a max or whatever his max?
wow, I don't know.
They have the money, right? Like they've got cap space.
Is he going to team up with Ja? We're going to take Ja's contract.
I mean, listen, the Nets are going to be doing goofy stuff this summer because they can't be bottom 3 next year because that reform is passing.
But they don't, Dave. They don't care if they're bottom 3. They don't have their pick.
Oh, that's a good point.
So, like, that's one of the things of the new tanking system.
Yeah.
Is there's no longer this like, oh, they don't control their pick. They're going to try to be good. It's like, actually, now it really doesn't even matter because you're like, well, what am I going to do? I can't make the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, I do like the fact there's no benefit to losing, but there's also no longer this like, I feel like in the old system, as bad as it was, there could be a short-sighted motivation to not have your fan base see you give up a top 3 pick. Like the Pelicans somewhat relieved the 8th pick goes to the Hawks. The Clippers relieved and the entire NBA relieved that the 12th pick went to the Thunder, did not jump up to the first pick. So in the old system, it used to be you don't control your pick. You need to try to win. Although, again, the Pelicans showed us whatever. But now it's like, well, if it's flattened odds, I don't have any chance of avoiding that anyways.
Right.
So it actually might be better to have one of the worst 3 records. You've lowered your chances. Also, it's funny where it is also, and I think this is a good thing about the proposed new system, because there's all this talk now, once again, that the Bucks are going to entertain trade offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And people are like, oh, they should trade with the Hawks to get their own pick back. Getting your own pick back doesn't mean anything anymore. Because it used to be you could say, all right, I can give myself a 100% chance at a top 5 pick.
Right.
Or at least an 80% chance at a top 5, top 6 pick. That's gone now.
Yeah.
So it no longer behooves you to get your own pick back to tank, to even do what the Nets did, who got punished by the lottery gods and got nothing. So anyways.
It's gonna be chaotic, actually.
I mean, I think it's good because the entire concept that implies, oh, we're the Nets. We want to trade to get our picks back. So we can like take a dump on our fans for 2 years,
right?
You know, like so we can put the most miserable. I know we're selling hope.
We want to control our own fate.
Exactly, we want to control our own fate by being terrible. Yeah, we want to scuttle the ship. So hopefully we have a chance of getting risen up. And again, it worked for the Grizzlies and it worked for the Jazz and it worked for the Wizards. We think but yeah.
Look, Brooklyn, you're in the East.
In the East,
you can make the play-in this year. It's not that hard.
That goes for the West too.
It's just not that hard.
So the Hawks, the Kings, devastating for them. They actually let DeMar DeRozan get his scoring numbers. They let Max Reynaud go wild at the end of the season, and they won a couple too many games. They did not get the lottery luck. They fall to 7th, although they might draft some kind of guard there, and maybe that will work out fine for them. Mavericks dropped to 9. They were one of the worst teams all year. No luck there. And then Bucks 10th, Warriors 11th, no luck. Thunder 12th. Thunder have 12 and 17. And also
they can
salary concerns. Yeah, there's a lot. Like Bulls have 4 and 15. Thunder have 12 and 17. Hornets have 14 and 18. I don't know.
Thunder are going to have to make some changes this summer, obviously. Like I think Dort is probably out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, these guys are too good to be sitting on the bench in OKC.
And for the money, right.
Right. So, that team will look different. Brooklyn, just get everybody from OKC. Just do it. Just sign all those guys. Sign all those guys. They're winners.
It's not going to hurt.
Bring them in. No.
I mean, Aaron Wiggins during the regular season looked like a guy that would play on any squad. Basically, any team in the NBA is like, oh yeah, he's better than our guy.
Well, it came out that the Sixers were trying to get Aaron Wiggins, and then when OKC, I guess, said no, they just said, okay. Take Jared McCain anyway.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I mean, there are going to be a lot of movements in, I think, the first round. You have Also, they were saying I've started listening to draft podcasts because it's the season for me as a Grizzlies podcaster. They're saying like the NCAA has given everybody like an extra year. Like there's a new 5th year thing coming up where it's going to be even easier to get a 5th year of eligibility, meaning like there's going to be nobody in next year's draft.
Yeah.
Like already the NIL is keeping a lot of the players in. Already it's a really terrible high school class that's going into college now. Like that's why the 2028 draft teams were like, oh yeah, like the Jazz are like, hey, do you want 2 2028 picks for Jaren Jackson Jr.? Great, you can have them. So It's like there's nobody in next year's draft. So it's like, oh man, you have the Thunder where it's like normally I feel like you could say, we'll give you a future pick for 12 or something. The Thunder might be like, no, we actually just want to move up right now. And then that part is a part of the draft I haven't paid attention to, like future draft quality versus NCAA rules, NIL rules, and now being like people actively trying to get out of the 2028 draft. And then of course the Thunder with their payroll. The funniest thing to me, the Thunder and the Nuggets both have the situation where it's like they have to do something, and the finish of that is like they have to do something ellipsis because we don't think we're going to pay to keep teams. You could, like the most obvious thing for the Nuggets to do this year, you need to run it back.
Yes,
but it's like
the Nuggets.
You can't be in the business of like just trying to dump Christian Brown.
Right.
Christian Brown's a good player for you. He might be overpaid, and he might have not had a great playoff series, and he was hurt for most of the year.
The issue is Peyton Watson, though. They're
going
to have to.
Yeah, you have to keep Peyton Watson, but you can't salary dump Cam Johnson or Christian Brown. No. You have to keep Cam Johnson. You have to keep Christian Brown. You have to keep Peyton Watson. At the very least, you have to keep those salary slots so you can trade them for other things.
Right.
Like you have to run it back with your players.
Yeah, but Denver doesn't do that.
But yeah, I know Kroenke, sell the team. But even same for the Thunder. I would think they're gonna pay Lusher Jacks hardcore at least once or twice.
I think they will. No. I think they will. But like Dort at this point, like Dort is expendable.
But you have to make the decisions where it's like,
yeah. I think Dort's expendable. Obviously, Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, these guys are like down the bench in my opinion. But like they'll re-sign Hartenstein.
The most interesting one. Hartenstein's an interesting one. Maybe
it'll be a lower number.
But like you think about like the success without Jalen Williams, and that would solve a lot of things. You think about AJ Mitchell being so good.
$3 million a year.
$3 million a year, but obviously I assume they'll give him a bigger contract to keep him from going into free agency.
Yep.
There are a bunch of interesting and tough decisions around them. Like, could the Thunder not cash in on AJ Mitchell being perfect this postseason so far? Where you could say, because like honestly, he is benefiting from all the double team Shea is seeing.
Right.
On his own squad. I don't think he's going 12 for 18 with 27 points,
Maybe.
But also you can now cash him in for the Thunder.
Oh, I've got people sending me, and not Thunder fans, but I've got people sending me, if Detroit doesn't make it past Cleveland, could they offer on Jalen Williams? Right? Like the Thunder have proven that they can be pretty good without him. What would it take? But the Thunder are in the position where they don't need anything. Like the Thunder dictate everything because they've got all these future firsts and they have all this talent. Like they don't have to break it up.
I would like to re-emphasize my position to all other NBA franchises. This is collusion. Actually, don't trade with the Thunder. If you don't trade with them, they're going to have to cut people. Don't trade with them. Make them use their picks. Hold the line. Hold the line. No one trade with the Thunder. You want to get AJ Mitchell?
It's an embargo.
Great. Yeah, he's gonna be a free agent in 2 years if you don't trade with the Thunder. Great. Don't trade with the Thunder. No one trades with them. They got too many picks. I had one more thing I was thinking about saying. Oh, just the Pistons. Also, kudos to us tooting our horn. Being so disappointed they stood pat at the trade deadline. Like Kevin Huerter. Like,
bro,
the East is wide open.
Harris LeVert.
And you just need a player. You just need a player. And it's like you didn't get a player. Anyways, let's answer a single listener submitted question really quickly, Dave. This is the croissant questioner. I think this question was in regards to maybe the Celtics going out under a 3-point barrage. Anyways, Major wants to know, do you think the game would be better at all by expanding the court to 100 by 60 feet? Dave, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, no, you don't want more space. It's already hard enough for the defense. Like, people talk about extending the corners.
The corner three is where this comes into.
But the corner being a little bit shorter is not why that's a good shot. That's been a good shot in basketball since the sport existed, because it's the opposite side of where the action is, so it's an open shot. That's the reason that corner threes are good looks. How often you see a guy unguarded, usually because for a reason, right? Like, that's an open shot because you've switched the ball switched sides. You want that. To me, you know what? The change I would make? Get rid of defensive 3 seconds.
Okay.
No more having to clear the lane. And all of a sudden, you can camp. And I would guess that you would get less defensive movement, which is part of what the injury issue is. Wouldn't you get even more
three-pointers just aesthetically?
Maybe. I'm not sure about that, though. I think the teams will have to get more creative about clearing out the lane. But I mean, like the Euro League, well, Europe, the rest of the world, there's no defensive 3 seconds. So, and it's not like it's all threes.
My thought to this question, of course, expanding the corner three has been a subject of conversation for a while. Even Phil Jackson, by the way, Phil Jackson posted on Twitter, which he rarely does this week, saying he has been petitioning the competition committee for years to make the corner three longer. Interesting.
Or get rid of it is another idea.
I think if your goal is to eliminate 3-pointers, getting rid of it makes more sense. My problem with expanding the court is we have an epidemic of injury.
Right.
And making the court larger is going to cause more running. That's more movement. If you have to close all the way out to the corner and now you made the corner further, you've added more running, more movement, and we're currently in this problem.
It's more lanes to the basket. Like, this is the thing about the three, and like why it's puts so much pressure on the defense, is because you have to go guard it, which means that if you get blown by, there's just more room behind you. So if you make the court bigger, again, do you like layups? I guess.
I also don't want more driving lanes while we still have help defenders allowed to take charges on essentially airborne shooters or airborne drivers. Once you gather, you got to be on the ground to take a block. That's a change I would love to see. A help defender has to be there by the gather. I think that would cause a lot of collisions to go away in the NBA. Would incentivize defense. No, I don't want to see the court widened for any of these reasons. I can't think of a good reason.
And taking away the corner three, like, that's okay for me. Like, if you were going to make a change, you'd basically just take the arc from sideline to sideline. You can't make the 3-pointer longer because, again, just more pressure on the defense. I guess if you could make it longer if there's no corner three, because now it's, at least it's just.
But even then, you'd have to cover further out, and that's more running.
I just think it would change the geometry of the game. Would be aesthetically weird to watch. Yeah, because the corners have always been a part of basketball. Yeah, it is just what it is. And so I don't know. I personally I don't think that the problem is that there's too many threes necessarily. It's just that I just think that the defense doesn't have much of a chance.
Yeah, I agree with you there. All right. Thanks for the question, Major. If you guys want your question to be answered on air or as part of the monthly bonus episode, you got to be a Patreon supporter. Go to patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. If you sign up over there, you can join the Slack channel also, where we talk about the NBA and whatever else around the clock. Also, by the way, for the Patreon supporters, the Stone Cold Locks standings, I have not updated them yet. I will say no one picked Knicks in 4. No one predicted the Knicks sweep. Lots of people predicted the Thunder sweep. So I will update those standings, and then when the next round begins, I'll post that over at patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast so you can get your picks in over there. But anyways, support the show, patreon.com/Fastbreak Breakfast. All right, Dave, it's now time for the awards segment of the program, the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, given each week to the worst performance in a box score. We have a few honorable mentions. Tobias Harris, 6 for 17. Julius Randle, 6 for 17. De'Aaron Fox, 8 for 23. Our three nominees, as they occurred chronologically over the last 6 days. I think this is chronological order. Let's see. Paul George in Game 4, 6 for 18, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls. Jaden McDaniels in Game 3, 5 for 22. I didn't know he had that in him. 5 for 22, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block shot, 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls. And then Tobias Harris last night in Game 5, 6 for 19, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls. So we have Paul George, 6 for 18, 15 points. Jaden McDaniels, 5 for 22, 17 points. Tobias Harris, 6 for 19, 15 points.
Oh, it's got to be Jaden.
Gotta be. Comfortable win.
5 for 22 is
Just needed a little more, man.
rough.
Yeah, the Timberwolves, like, they're facing the fact that, like, Gobert has sort of been offensively negated, where he has become a problem because he can't finish in the paint and he's not really affecting. Yeah, and of course normally there's a trade-off where, like, he anchors your defense. He's still getting a lot of rebounds and he's protecting both the offensive and defensive glass, but, like, him being just nothing. Because even, like, with the screens, one of the fun things about Wemby is just, like, that bro's contesting the shot at the rim and on the perimeter on the same play. And so it's so ridiculous.
Screens don't matter.
It's so preposterous. So then you're like, all right, well, we got to get some Naz Reid to space it out. And Julius Randle's having trouble, because why wouldn't you? Like, who is not going to have trouble? We have a lot of Timberwolves fans in the Slack channel, and they're like, man, I guess Julius Randle can't take on Wemby. Who can take on Wemby? You know, It's like, what are you hoping for? You need a Steph Curry and a Julius Randle body, you know, or some kind of range. It's just like, it's unreal. But anyways, congratulations to Jaden McDaniels for holding that down. And again, like, they're missing their team. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo's out, and Ant does look fully back because Ant's been a Superman. But it is a tough ask. Those teams get back at it on Friday night, and then who knows when. Wins the Pistons Cavs? Feels like they're going 7. I think
Friday. It's Friday.
So that I'm saying Game 6 is Friday. I was thinking, who knows when the next round's going to start? Who knows when this round's going to be over? Because, like, I feel like the Cavaliers, I feel like they might score 72 points next game. Actually, I'm not going to look up. I'm at school. I can't go to a gambling website to find out what the over/under is. And I want to know what the Cavs, like, points total is for next game right now, because I feel like they're going to score 72 points. They might win. They might beat the Pistons 72-68.
Cavs. Let's see, -3.5.
So Cavs favored in Game 6, unsurprisingly at home.
Let's see what I'm looking for here. I don't see the total anywhere.
All right. Yeah.
It's not like readily available.
It's not.
I don't gamble, so
I know.
Really
I was like making you try to find this makes me feel like a bad person.
Okay. Well,
anyways, I'm predicting a low scoring.
Well, luckily,
fight.
I just went to a regular sports site and there was tons of gambling stuff. Yeah.
I'm surprised
player prop bets and everything.
I'm surprised when I log into Netflix, it isn't like, hey man, Cavs over under 89.
Oh, it's coming. I guarantee that in the next 3 years, you're going to be able to do micro gambling on your TV watching.
Well, that's
Prime.
already happened. Prime already has
really?
it. Yeah, Prime already has it. I think so.
I don't watch it on Prime. I watch it on League Pass, so I didn't know that.
I think Prime already has it. I've already
just tied to your Amazon account?
I think so. I'm not sure. There was one thing where I turned it off where like it asked me on Prime. It's like, do you want to track your FanDuel bets? And I was just like,
Oh, okay. So it's integration.
the
instead
integration,
of just
but yeah.
like Amazon's going to start their own sport.
Although I
right?
think at the very least, didn't some sports leagues are coming out against the prediction markets. Hopefully we can, if they're, I don't know if we're going to win.
Not the NBA.
I don't know if we're going to win any of these fights going
NBA's
forward.
like, we're going to make our own prediction market.
Yeah, seriously. Anyways, enjoy the basketball this weekend, folks. Appreciate you guys being supporters of the show. Dave, good stuff as always. You guys, thanks for listening. You're the best. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fastbreak Break, man. You understand?